What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody. So it's time to return to our Marvel Studios 2025 slate because we got to update this with a new stamp. And that's, of course, for Marvel Zombies, which dropped on Disney Plus a little bit earlier today. So if you guys still have Disney Plus, you didn't cancel it to support Jimmy Kimmel or whatever dumb shit that was. If you still got it, you can go and watch it, of course. If you don't have it, I watched it for you thanks to my plug. Shout out to the homie that hooked that up. And yeah, man, look. Marvel Zombies is exactly what we all thought it would be. All right. Before it came out, we all read the synopsis and we were seeing, oh, this is what this thing is about to be. It's exactly what we thought it was. Here's your main character. All right. Good old Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel herself. It is her story. She is the hero. All right. It is basically her story from beginning to end, and they lean all the way in to everything that we've seen in the MCU so far, including the fact that she literally saves everybody multiple times, time and time again, and all the other heroes that are out there, you know, with the exception of the girl bosses, right? Every girl boss in the MCU in these last couple of phases, they all get a moment to shine. All right. Valkyrie, she gets plenty of moments to shine. Kate Bishop and Riri Williams, you know, they're her buddies early on. They get a moment to shine. Katie gets a moment to shine. Yelena. I thought it was about to be Yelena, and then, oh, nope, it's her. It's all about Miss Marvel. All right. The male characters are pretty much worthless. It's exactly what we thought it was going to be when we first heard about this whole premise, you know, because MCU, all right? So, yeah, it is what it is, and we all kind of expected it. Some folks are coming out, dropping their reviews. Yeah, the AV Club says Marvel Zombies has plenty of gore, but no guts. Fresh face Avengers assemble before the meat grinder in this Disney Plus miniseries. They gave it a C-. Collider wrote this, the Marvel Zombies review, the MCU's first adult animated series, never fully rises from the dead. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a nothing burger, to be honest with you. The story itself is a nothing burger. Great, cool premise. There's a lot you could do with Marvel Zombies. They did none of the good shit. All right. They gave us the lamest version of this story. And look, let me say this. There are some good things in this. The animation is dynamite. I told you guys that from the trailer. I said, I'm going to love this from the animation standpoint. And as a horror guy, I love blood and guts, gore, all of that stuff. Fantastic. Plenty of it in Marvel Zombies. If you're a horror fan, blood and guts, you're not going to be disappointed from that standpoint. All right. It's not scary, though. I wanted it to be a little bit scarier, and it's not really scary at all. Look, let me say this. Marvel Zombies is definitely not the worst thing on this board. All right. It is far from the worst thing on this board. That probably goes to like Ironheart and maybe Cap 4. Like these two right here. These are probably the worst ones in terms of just the story. Yeah, Marvel Zombies is not the worst thing on this board, but it sure as hell ain't, you know, quality either. You know, they dropped the ball big time with this shit, and that's just the way I see it. RobertEbert.com, Marvel's animation, Marvel Zombies, doesn't have enough flesh on its shambling bones. Yeah, there's a good moment with Hulk. Thanos and Hulk, they have like a moment in, I think, the last episode, and it's pretty solid. It's actually pretty good. The Hulk is a badass. Yet again, it's like they heard us. Oh, shit, we got to make the Hulk, like, good again, man. A lot of people have just called us out time and time again on how we fucked the Hulk up. Yeah, let's get the Hulk back to being somewhat of a badass. And they do, and it's kind of cool. But again, it's one of the few moments that are actually cool with that. Tech Radar says, I watched all 4 episodes of Marvel Zombies on Disney Plus, and I wish it had more brains to go with its hyper-violent brawn. Yeah, see, the problem again is the characters. And again, if you don't have good characters that we care about, I don't care what's going on in this story. You got to give me characters that I'm caring about, that I'm invested in. I want to see what happens with, you know, all of these various characters. I want to see, hey, is Miss Marvel going to make it? You know, damn, I'm a little scared for Kamala Khan. Nope, had none of them feelings whatsoever. As a matter of fact, she's annoying again because she gets to save everybody. She's pretty much an idiot. But everybody's like, you're the hero. You're the one that we need. Man, I'm a quick spoiler. Even Thor says, you're the last Avenger. You're an Avenger now. You're the Avenger. That's what Thor says about this chick. And then everybody's like, you go, girl. Woohoo. Thor's called you an Avenger. And I was like, this is so fucking stupid. This is so stupid, man. All right. Right before Thor offs it, he gives her the title of Avenger. Just absolutely retardation, man. And then, of course, you know, IGN. It's great. It's 8. We loved it. Marvel Zombies may be formulaic at times, but the series succeeds by giving us exactly what the MCU hasn't in recent years. What? Girl bossness? We've gotten all kinds of girl boss shit. What are y'all talking about? There is not, look, again, the animation's great. The blood, the gore, the guts, all of that stuff is fantastic. Really not scary, though. This should have been scarier, number one. But then number two, you have to give us characters we care about. Man, Spider-Man should have been the lead. Spider-Man has a couple of decent moments. He has some good kills. You know, I did notice that they didn't allow him to die. Like, they didn't show his death. Everybody else, they showed their deaths. Spider-Man didn't quite show his death, which tells you, hey, we can't have Spider-Man get killed. All right, we just can't have Spidey get killed. It's not happening. Everybody else, yeah, fuck them. But Spider-Man, no. They know where their bread is buttered, all right? They know exactly where their bread is buttered. But yeah, Cosmic Marvel had posted this up. Marvel Zombies is currently at 65% on Rotten Tomatoes from 20 reviews. It's the lowest rated animated MCU show, you know, which isn't saying much because there's not that many of them, all right? I think what you got, that Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and then you got Eyes of Wakanda, and what, Marvel Zombies? I don't know. Or no, I'm sorry, What If? And then What If? And that's about it. Yeah, so there's not a lot of options there, but yeah, 65%. It actually dropped, all right? One more review came in. Now it's at 62%. So there's a lot of critics that are like, not really my cup of tea. Most of them liked it. And you can see the audience score is at 84%. If you check out some of the like reviews from some of these cats, you know, real quick and to the point, it was interesting, fun watch. I loved it. I want a season 2. I don't know if they'll do a season 2. They do leave the door open for that. I don't know if that's going to happen. That was fantastic. Wanda, Queen of the Dead. Oh yeah, another girl boss villain. You know, Wanda's the villain in this whole thing. She's the Queen of the Dead. I don't think they plan on bringing Wanda back in any hero capacity at this point. All right. So yeah, that's what most people say. You can see a lot of 5 stars. I don't know how many of these cats probably are shills. All right. The animation, again, I'll give the animation credit. The writing, nah. The comedy, nah. The horror, nah. The action, okay, yeah. The animation, the action, violent and bloody, all of that's true. But yeah, writing, comedy, horror, nah, it fails magnificently on these 3 points. Now, Marvel Zombies is a good series, not the best of Marvel, but that doesn't take away from how good it is. The characters are not the most well-known, but the most well-known characters are zombies, which is more interesting and exciting. What's exciting about that? I would have took the original Avengers and have them trying to, you know, stop the zombie apocalypse. That's what I would have done. And then made all of these, like these phase 4 and 5 characters, make all of these chumps the zombies. I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more, and I think everybody else would have enjoyed it a lot more. This was dumb, man. So he gave it a good score and hopes for a second season. Does anybody, like, most of these are positive, right? Even though it's at 84, anybody dislike it? Look at all of this shill, man. The shilling is already here. All right, here's somebody with a 3.5 star. Only on the second episode. He ain't even finished watching it. But for Disney and the recent Marvel releases, this is a huge improvement. We'll fix it if it falls off. But so far, this series is pretty awesome. After further watching, I see they made the worst Marvel character the main hero. Yep. Which was really done. So lost a star there. But they continued Disney's history of white hate until they finally brought Spider-Man in. Yeah, so Russ, yeah, you giving it too much credit, G. I don't know if he ever finished it. Yeah, Spider-Man comes in, and his character is solid. But again, man, for the most part, man, this is just a giant nothing burger. You can skip it. Must watch for Marvel fans. Yeah, a lot of positive reviews. Episode 2. Oh, okay. He's rating them individually. He gave episode 1 a 7, episode 2 a 5. Can't like anything involving Namor. Yeah, Namor is terrible in this. Episode 3 gave an 8. Episode 4 is a 9. I think episode 4 has the best possibilities, but it does have a very shitty ending. All right. A very shitty ending. Again, just opening the door for a sequel. That was pretty much what it was, man. But look, I don't think this is, oh, look, a 1 star or a half star. I have loved film and television my whole life. I signed up to Rotten Tomatoes to make this review for the first time in my life. That's how bad this show is. The show has zero relation to the prior iteration of What If and involves primary characters that no one cares about. The main characters are all from shows and movies that have failed in the box office or on television. Why Marvel insists on pushing characters no one cares about honestly makes no sense. There are so many excellent story opportunities here. I agree, man. This thing has a lot of opportunities. There are possibilities just chock full of it. You're watching it unfold and you're like, hey, here's an opportunity for them to do something interesting, but I don't care about the characters that are moving forward with this. You know, like characters are getting killed off that are actually like, hey, you probably could have kept that character around. And then moving forward with Kamala Khan and then other people that you're just kind of tired of. Man, yeah. So anyway, yeah, this person doesn't like it. Let's go ahead. Let's do what we came to do, all right? You guys came to see this. It's time to update the board. Here is my stamp for Marvel Zombies epic fail. And it's an epic fail, and I said this was probably going to end up being my score because if it wasn't at least decent, there's a very, very good premise that they could have had for Marvel Zombies, and they dropped the ball. They absolutely dropped the ball. No question at all about it. Putting Kamala Khan at the center of this thing, what were you thinking? What were you thinking, man? Again, this should have been Iron Man, Cap, Thor, you know, Hulk, you know, bring back Black Widow from the dead. You know, she could just be a zombie, but they're trying to save her. Something. They could have did anything at all with this. And then Hawkeye, of course, to round it up and let the original Avengers go and fight the zombie horde. That would have been fantastic. Probably could have still left Scarlet Witch as the villain. I wouldn't have had a problem with that. But instead, this is what they did. It's a what else, Elseworlds type of situation. So, or what if Elseworlds. So play, have fun with it. There was no reason to try to make these other characters, especially this character, something interesting. But anyway, you guys let me know what y'all think. If y'all watch Marvel Zombies, again, there's my stamp on that epic fail. We got one more, Wonder Man, all right? Wonder Man, which apparently is about the actors, you know, and the greatness of acting. All right, that's what this next one is about. I think we're going to get a clean sweep of trash, epic fails, flops, and so on when we finally get to Wonder Man. But y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Go ahead, jump down in the comments, give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.